Hey guys, happy fall. Check out my awesome cardigan. But yeah, I hope you've all had a good October so far. For this video, in the spirit of Halloween, I wanted to share one of my favorite spooky Persona fan fictions, or well, actually one of my favorite spooky fanfics in general. And it's a Persona 4 and Digital Devil Saga crossover you never knew you needed. One that we probably never deserved, but an amazing, fantastic one nonetheless. Or well, it's not necessarily like a crossover as it is more like Persona 4 if it had Digital Devil Saga universe like aspects to it, which, by the way, I should just preface this with I have not played Digital Devil Saga myself yet. It is next on the playlist after I finish my Persona 4 Golden replay. So pretty much the only thing I really know about DDS is from this fic, this author's amazing universe. But so with that said, what the heck is the premise of this fanfic? Well, as the thumbnail says, imagine the Persona 4 cast, instead of their more happy-go-lucky selves, imagine them as cannibals. Yeah, so basically what happens is that instead of awakening to their personas in the TV world, instead they are awakened to their Atma brands, which basically, which means that like you gotta devour or die. So let me just read the blurb for you, right? The blurb that is right here, which was like really well done, by the way, by the author. So, summary. There's only one rule in the television: devour or die. The TV world infects its victims with a virus that turns them into demons who must consume humans to survive. By July, the police and Naoto Shirogane are closing in on them, and the original murderer is still on the loose. To buy more time, the team takes drastic actions to stay out of the police's hands, no matter who gets hurt along the way. So dang, this, that says a lot, right? Oh, which, by the way, also just like content warning, I guess. As you can see in the tags right here, there is body horror, cannibalism, okay? And it, it's just dark. And there's another thing as well, character death, as the notes say. So anyway, yeah, it's like the gang are infected with the demon virus accidentally through the television and become Asuras. And then, what are the reactions to their newfound cannibalism? Like, how does it change the dynamics of the group, the character interactions, and even, yeah, like the entire narrative of Persona 4 in general? That is pretty much the main reason why I love this fanfic, and I can't recommend it enough, is because of just how in character the entire cast is written, while still accounting for like how much the sheer stress of their situation changes, like who they are, in the sense for like this situation really brings out like some more, like negative aspects of each of the characters. But yeah, no one to me ever felt out of character at all. And man, the team dynamics are like both so faithful to the actual game's narrative, but also still totally takes on a whole different route, because this is how the chapters are written. If you see this, it's like, we go into July, And then look, this is so sad. Give up, devour. So as the months drag on, their whole team dynamic changes and the entire narrative is just changed forever. Another aspect of this fanfic that I appreciate a lot, and I think maybe some of you might appreciate as well, is that a lot of the queer issues that are raised in the original work are explored, I would say, a little bit more satisfyingly in this fanfic. Yet at the same time, it's not, it's not like front and center. This narrative is still set on telling the main conflict of what happens to the team when they become cannibals, and what are they willing to do? What are they willing to sacrifice to stay out of the police's hands now? Nevertheless, like, yeah, I think the queer issues are just, they're definitely explored in a very interesting and I would say satisfying way in this fanfic, which, that might be a draw to some of you. And I'll just say, even if you might not agree with like the coding of the characters that like the author took liberty with, I still encourage you to stick with the fanfic just for the, the main plot alone, because it's so good. It's seriously so good. And so because of that, I found it like a huge page turner. Like more like click, like click turner, I guess. Because it deviates so much, I wanted to know what was gonna happen next, because it's not just rehashing like similar plot beats, or the same plot beats, I should say, because it still tries to keep sort of to like the original timeline until it just completely deviates on its own. I found this fanfic a little over 2 years ago, and I remember the night that I found this, I could not stop. I had to keep going. And I ended up reading it all in one go, and which meant that I got no sleep that night, which was so bad for my health, but it was just so good. That's how good this fic is, in my opinion, Oh, another thing that's just like one of my favorites about this fic is Nanako, and how so many of the passages are told from her point of view. I think it just makes it extra creepy and terrifying because, as a kid, you might not necessarily know what's going on, but kids are smart. Like, they definitely know when something is not right, even if they can't really put their finger on why, right? Fast forward to the final chapter. Oh my gosh, the epilogue is so good. One of the best final chapters I've read in like a fanfic. And it's Nanako is a big star in it, let's just say that. But other than that, like just in general, the prose is just so interesting. It's so unique. Like this author signalbeam, like she truly has a talent for this. And especially the dialogue in this fanfic just like hooked me. It never overstayed its welcome, but it's so captivating, I would say. So yeah, just I hope this was a good sell on this fanfic. And I guess just to close it up, I want to read just a tiny snippets from the first chapter. But yeah, before I go ahead and do that, if you want me to do more videos like this, like unscripted videos like this, where I give more fanfic recommendations, just leave a like on the video, or, tell me in the comments. Oh, and even like if you do end up reading this whole fanfic, like, well, number one, please leave a comment and kudos to the author, signalbeam, because, it's just a nice thing to do for the author, But I'd also love to hear, like, in the comments what you think of this fanfic if you end up reading the whole thing. Soji's looking at the compostable trash. He's smiling at it in a funny kind of way, almost like he's smiling at her, thinking of something fond. Then he reaches into the compost bin, picks up a slab of meat, and brings it to his mouth. His hair looks almost white under the streetlight. Juice dribbles down his chin. This is a dream. She doesn't think raw meat can taste this good, but he eats it so fast Nanako wonders if maybe it does. Then he reaches in and eats more. It's like he can't stop being hungry. Nanako thinks this is a joke. The way the boys in school will drop their pants and run around the school, but he keeps going. He isn't laughing. Nanako goes back up to her room, crawls into bed, and pretends to go to sleep. But here's another one. Man, the dialogue is so good. What if a dog ate the bodies? Soji shrugs. She can tell he doesn't like talking about this. She remembers hearing some of his classmates were killed. What do you think, big bro? What do I think? I think the killer didn't want to do it. I can't believe anyone would want to do this to another person, to treat them like they're just... Your dad will catch them for sure. When he says this, he licks his lips like he's hungry. He rubs his hand over his mouth. He pats her head, like Kanji did. I want more cake, she says, knowing he won't say no. He gets up and gets it for her. Nanako feels a sick, slimy feeling in her stomach. She hugs her knees to her body. She thinks he's lying to her. She thinks he's in trouble. But yeah, like all these parts with the entire investigation team, the dialogue is really good. Please read this for, the spookies for Halloween, and happy Halloween, everyone. Don't forget to check out my other persona analyses on my channel. And I'll have a lot of other new Persona 4 content for you in the coming months. Otherwise, thank you to all my patrons, and take care, everybody.